despite the presence of these troops, and this is unprecedented. It's like Ukraine style, bombing, which is internationally illegal as well. Tragedy in Manipur, the actual responsibility is the government of India, because they have sent 60,000 troops. Despite their presence, violence has not gone down.
Peace will be restored very soon. What is the condition of the Manipur right now? Because we have heard that some incidents are erupting again.
Yeah, this whole trying to think that this crisis is over kind of thing, normalize, just to cover up the failure. There's all kinds of statements he has been making, all contradictory. If you follow all that he said right from the day one, we don't know what he has in his mind. He said something else. He will say X is the cause, sometimes he say Y is the cause. He keeps on shifting his statement. And he said it's not going to be easy for people to return home very quickly. And he says 6 months we will have peace, as if, I don't know whether he meant by that all these internally displaced people will go back to their original homes within 6 months. Only a few weeks ago he said it's going to take time. So does it mean that by peace normalization these people also go back? What does he mean by that? So he kept on saying all kinds. So I don't give too much importance to what he says, because he is only a small-time player. The tragedy in Manipur, the actual responsibility is the government of India, because they have sent 60,000 troops. Despite their presence, violence has not gone down. And it's seemingly they have taken over unconstitutionally the law and order from the state government, not through a proper channel. It is an admission by the Chief Minister and one of his cabinet ministers that security advisor was appointed by the union government, yet the order was issued by the state government. So it is a satrap, it's a local satrap, who is serving the diktats of Delhi. So I think, I don't give too much importance to, we should not distract from the fact that the major role is the government of India. If the constitutional machinery is collapsed, they should have done what is the appropriate actions to make the state government accountable for the failure. No, they didn't do it, because ultimately you realize that the game plan, they are just using this, promoting and protecting such kind of a satrap in the state, and and ruling through these proxies to implement certain agendas by the government of India. I mean, that is very clear. For 15 months, this violence has happened despite the presence of these troops, and this is unprecedented. It's like Ukraine style, bombing, which is internationally illegal as well. They started resorting to this, and India is such a superpower. Air Force and army and special troops and others, and you think you can't control, and then people can go on bombing and killing innocent people this way? I mean, that clearly shows that government of India is complicit in these actions, and they have propped up a satrap like the government of Manipur and to implement their agendas. So that's the situation I look at it at the moment.
So the violence is still on in the...
Yeah, everyday forms of violence when you are not able to move to your own house, to stay in your own place. That's a violence. Only firing and killing is not the only expression of violence. Violence is a humiliation that people have gone through. You demonize a particular community, and then, like media, war, disinformation, you are painting an entire community as the perpetrators of the violence, despite the fact that both the communities have perpetrators as well as victims. These things have been going on. It's the craziest thing, actually. I've said this many times. It is within the BJP government, and a party member of the BJP is spearheading this movement for separate administrations. At the same time, it is the Chief Minister says that no separate administration. So fight, the one who is supposed to rule the state, the cabinet of Manipur, is splitted within. The party, ruling party, is splitted within. So they should join together, and Prime Minister should ensure that they should talk first and resolve within them. Once you have a stable government, then you can handle all this thing. Government itself is in doldrum. You understand what I'm saying? The Prime Minister don't care to visit. He is more concerned for peace in Ukraine than Manipur. He has more feeling for victims in other states like Orissa or others, and he thinks Manipuri suffering is nothing to him. You know, that is what, and then the government of Manipur, Chief Minister, will defend Modi and Amit Shah, and under whom these 60,000 troops operate in Manipur. And this is Modi-ji-led government has stripped him of his own power, and he defends them. That's the irony of it. No Chief Minister in this self-respecting Chief Minister will defend that government who is stripped of his own power to run the state. As a Chief Minister, as a law and order situation is under his command, that was taken away from him. He admits that, his cabinet minister, and when we criticize that government of India and Modi-ji, he defends them. And when the people of Manipur are unhappy with the central security forces for allowing this kind of a bombing, which I talked to Kuldip Singh the other day, the security advisor, he was suspecting that this must be Kuki groups because the firing comes from there. He admitted to that one. And the government of Manipur's own police can't make even a wrong assessment of the situation. Instead of doing investigation and at least saying that there is a suspected Kuki militants, instead they said alleged. It's a third-person expression. Somebody has alleged, not by the police. Am I making sense? The choice of the Home Department says reportedly by Kuki militants. You know, when you say reportedly by Kuki militants or alleged Kuki militants, you're talking somebody else's viewpoint, right? Somebody alleged, somebody has reported. But if I am the investigating agency, police, my first statement should have been own up that statement and say, it's a suspected Kuki militants. I talked to Kuldip Singh over the phone, and he admits that he suspects that this could be Kuki groups who are firing and bombing this, disturbing people and killing these innocent people in Koutruk. They admitted, you know, instead of that in Facebook you allow these demonize one communities, you know, that instead of the state must come in and then occupy that information space. He doesn't allow, you know, he encourages everybody to accuse and demonize this other's community. Rather than officials coming it up, his own official statement, I just told you, did not even own up the statement. He says it's alleged and reportedly by Kuki militants, instead of saying suspected Kuki militants. You understand? It's all kinds of abnormality you see. This is a chaos. I just found another document where the DGP has formed a committee to coordinate properly this and then investigate on this incident of drone bombing. There is another group called Unified Headquarters, which is commonly referred to as Unified Command, to coordinate the security agencies. We don't know who's working. One cabinet minister, his BJP MLA saying we want separate administration, and they are spearheading. We can't live together. This is what they are preaching. And then on the other end, the CM says that we will not give separate. So who's fighting? The government itself is fractured. And Modi should have called them and said, resolve this first at your level. Once the government is unified and they can control this violence, they can't. It's a complete failure. And then in the process, we have lost lives. And then 15 months long violence. They said, "Thik ho gaya." Abhi thik ho gaya ye? What has happened? It's unprecedented, and government of India has not come out. Ulta, they will start saying, BJP's cadres have been sent out to say, Rahul Gandhi chup kyun hai? Congress chup kyun hai? Usko puchna chahiye na, Home Minister chup kyun hai? Condemn karna chahiye. Defense Minister chup kyun hai? Modi chup kyun hai? Why don't they condemn? Because they are the government. वो कुछ नहीं बोलते. This is creating complete confusions and all shameless. And then we suffer as a people. 15 months. You understand it? I mean, I was so sad that the woman who died was visiting उसकी मायके की आए थे खाना खाने के लिए. वो वापस जाने वाले थे, मदर ने कुछ रुके रखा हुआ था, गाड़ी पता नहीं ऐसे बोला, and he was standing outside and she was killed. It's a symbolic of home being destroyed, either ways. And then we said that Indian Army is blocking and the Central Security Forces are deployed, that despite that these people are shooting down on the valley. And then the government, police can't even say that it is suspected Kuki militants. He said, alleged, reportedly. I don't mention this name only when an officially, my principle is very clear. It's only when the official confirmation comes, then I speak. Otherwise, what happens is, you have this propaganda and demonizing communities will follow, which aggravates the situation. It deepens the divide. Some people want to divide Manipur, and they have played out, and many have fallen prey to that one. Jitana aap hate karoge each other ko, then the divide becomes more consolidated. Based on that, they said, "Abhi reh nahi sakta, hum ek hi saath nahi rahega. We can't stay together. The divide is too deep, and hence separate administration." That's the logic. So in order to arrest that kind of a division, you try to stop this, unnecessarily demonizing the entire community. But they have been doing it. Meiteis have been demonized as the perpetrators through disinformation campaign on media. For so many years, I tried my best with the team of people trying to check the national media on this. And then on the other hand, entire Kuki communities has been branded, where the chief minister has his own cabinet ministers openly demanding the tearing apart of Manipur. And you see, this is where entire official machineries, political maturity, some of these Kuki MLAs, they've never appealed for peace right from the day one. BJP members, normally what you expect when violence occurs, then politician statement, you appeal for peace and calm, right? Instead, within 48 hours, they started saying ethnic cleansing, separate administrations. That's why I call it 3rd of May, 2023 is the direct action day. Remember that August 16 Muslim League, violence started in Kolkata. 10,000 people lost their lives within a period of 3 days. Then followed by massive genocidal crime in Punjab. Isliye maine bola, 3rd of May is the direct action day to this Ukraine-style terror attack by drone bombing. Ye kisne kiya ye? You have to find it out, but the most important is the direct finger should go to 60,000 central troops. What they have been doing? And under whose command are they? Do you think Chief Minister is at the head of? No, it's the union government, because it's the union troops. And who are these union government? BJP-led government, led by Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, Defense Minister Rajnath Ji. Isn't it? It is their command. And usi ne uska power bhi nikal diya. And then when we point our fingers and criticize Modi and the central government, he said, "Hamara kya muh dikha ke chale jaoge Prime Minister ke paas? Why you criticize Modi ji?" He's trying to defend him. So it's a crazy thing. His own cabinet minister, he fought. And then the central government play havoc with our life, not intervene, not even visit. And he defends that one. And he allows this communal hatred to flourish in the state everywhere, helping those people who want to divide, and some people who has this mindset of divide and rule among communities. You are becoming a victim or a willing partner to this whole divide and rule policies.
So what kind of solution do you see that action and the fresh incidents?
Yeah, I say it's very clear. This is something that I have been saying since last May. When I opened my mouth in the national media in last May, 2023 May, onwards I have been saying, first, Prime Minister must call all his party members, including the cabinet of Manipur government, which is a BJP government. It is within the cabinet you have these Kuki ministers and their party members, MLAs, who says they want separate administration. And Biren, who is the chief minister, says no separate administration. So divide is within the cabinet first, right? The government of Manipur is splitted. The first thing the Prime Minister should have done is, because that there is requirement of a government to exist, to take a common stand. So that government should be recovered. That is absolutely in the hands of the Government of India and the BJP leadership. They should call the first step. Make it sure that these people thresh out their differences. Even if they have differences, the Prime Minister should ensure that that differences should not lead to violence, to perpetuation of violence. At least that must be ensured. You can resolve it later on, but at the moment you agreed upon that this violence must stop. Once you do that, second step, the Government of India must assert its authority, judiciously, mind you. Judiciously. When you try to control the violence, you cannot be seen as siding with X group or the Y group or the Kuki or Meitei group. So what they are doing it, according to reports from the ground that I get, including this is also some kind of a suspicion that even the security advisor had when I had a chat with him. You know what it says is, you crack down only on Meiteis, then you let the Kuki free. So whenever you remove some villages, some village guard, then the hill se firing shuru ho jata hai usme. So that is why I say judiciously. You should assert the authority of the Indian state, the Government of India, use your troops judiciously and control it both ways. You should not be seen as partisan in your act. Once you assert that, these are the two conditions. Once you have that position, then we can start dialogue, not even negotiation. Just people begin to talk. And fourth, simultaneously, you ensure that, rule of law exists. Extortions and economic collapse and, and people suffering in relief camp, their pain must be ameliorated. And we must take care of it. So these are the 4 steps. And ask any rational people in the world or in this country. They would say the same thing. There is no, shallow talks. I said, I'm repeating, the Prime Minister must ensure that his party and government are talking to each other so that we have a semblance of governance in that state. 2, there should be a judicious way of dealing with the violence as you assert the authority of the Indian state. And the third, as I said, take care of these, people suffering, and ensure the rule of law exists, extortions and economy being collapsed. This should be taken care of. And not the less, lastly, but not the less,